And we're live.
Yay!
Yay, we did it.
We did it. I got an ad for DoorDash. Yay!
Oh man. Is it making you hungry?
I just ate like an hour ago. I hope
Oh.
it isn't, but I kind of do want to snack on something.
Yeah, I had a granola bar like immediately before we started.
And
So,
all I got in the house right now are healthy snacks like apples and like uh, baby carrots. Could
oh, I
really
like
just go for
baby
something.
carrots.
Yeah, I could just go for something dirty though, like a bag of chips.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's your go-to chip?
I've been bouncing back and forth between salt and vinegar and ketchup, both ways.
Yeah. I like me some ketchup chips. It's weird because anytime I talk to like Americans specifically about ketchup chips, they think it's disgusting, and I kind of agree. In theory, it should be because I don't like ketchup just at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
It doesn't taste like ketchup though. It's hard to describe what a ketchup
It
chip tastes
doesn't.
like. Yeah, it's weird. It's like a barbecue sauce that's more tangy or something, less bite to it.
Which is funny because there's actual barbecue chips too, which is
Yeah,
that exact description.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's such a hard flavor to describe, and I don't know. And I think if I hadn't grown up with them, I wouldn't have ever tried them because I don't like ketchup. And like if I didn't know just inherently what they taste like because of eating them when I was much, much younger, at like 15 and up, I would have just thought they were disgusting and never bothered with them
I
myself.
mean, that's entirely fair too, but yeah. Like I would probably super curious.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. At some point, you just want to try it out.
I feel like even though I like certain like I don't like all dressed chips, like I still tried it because I was like, well, I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna try it.
I still kind of don't know what it means, but it's like kind of everything in one.
Yeah. I think that's the problem with it.
Yeah, it's too tangy for me a lot of
Too
times.
much flavor.
It's a little too much. Yeah,
Hate it.
yeah, a little bit too much. How do you feel about like a plain chip if you have like some dip or something?
I don't even need the dip sometimes.
Hmm.
I feel like just sometimes you just want like a
Salt.
fast salt. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's just plain chips.
sure.
But yeah, sometimes a good dip's good. I just don't usually go out of my way for it. I feel
Yeah,
like you're complicating the whole logic behind chips, which is supposed to be hand goes in, chips come out.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the last time I have had dip. It must have been at like a parent's like party or something because that
Yeah.
seems like a parent thing to get dip with the chips for the party.
I I got into this habit recently. I don't have them around for example, but uh I wanted to keep eating like ketchup chips, but I
Yeah.
also wanted to do things.
Yeah.
So I learned how to do chopsticks with chips,
Okay.
which is like the most like portion control thing you could do. But also
Sure.
it's just like this is kind of neat. And I actually really sucked at using chopsticks before, and this has actually helped a surprising amount.
Sure. Yeah, and then you're not like just stuffing your mouth full.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it forces you to slow down because you can't just grab like a giant handful. Because if you do, they're just gonna fly everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. That's a good idea. And yeah, ketchup chips in particular, they get this like a crust on your fingers by the time you're
Yeah,
done
well,
just from
they
the
coat your
buildup.
hands in red, and like I have a bunch
Yeah.
of white controllers, so I'm like I can't do this.
Oh
This is
yeah.
just gonna make the biggest mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember having like a friend growing up that was like that friend that if you were playing games, like motherfucker always found some way to get the controller dirty and just never wanted to play with them.
Ooh.
It's like buttered popcorn, chips, like just
Oh
something. There's
man,
always something that is just like, no, go wash your hands. Go wash
that's the
your
worst,
hands.
man. It's just you want to keep them clean because they're
Yeah.
expensive, like especially back then.
Oh, totally. And you only got like one or two because your parents bought them for you usually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ugh. Don't be that friend. Person listening, don't be that person. Wash your goddamn hands.
So it's just good life advice in general. Wash your damn hands.
Wash your damn hands. You
God.
did you see what happened last year? If people would have just washed their damn hands. God
I'm like, where's
damn.
it going? Oh,
Oh
yeah,
no.
that thing, that thing. Yeah.
That thing, yeah. Yeah. Sean's gone. He's dead. No, he's with his mom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
He's dead in my closet.
This is how I learned about it. Damn.
Yeah. No, he's with his mom. If you follow him on Instagram, you'll see all the amazing hiking pictures he's taking. Like an hour before this, even. He's posting a whole bunch of pictures of him riding in one of those water boat planes or whatever and doing a hike in Victoria, BC somewhere. Yeah, he's living the good life right now. Outdoors. He likes that stuff. I'm not too fond of planes myself, so
I've dealt with them enough in my life, I feel.
I don't like them. I don't like them at all. So, but he's not here this week on this edition, October 14th, top-down perspective.
He saves it. He saves it. Look at him go.
As always, I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
Sometimes John Wheeler.
I have many doubles. I have many alts. It's whatever whoever I'm in the mood to be, that's who I am today. It just happens it lines up a lot as John Wheeler.
Makes sense. Okay, John, what have you been playing?
The only thing I've been playing is Metroid Dread.
Yeah, of course. We're going to talk a bunch about Metroid Dread.
Yeah. Finished it today, actually.
Okay. I played a little bit before we went live here. I literally just finished ME6 and got Wave Beam. So that's where I am.
You are you going for 100% or not?
So no, at first, because I need to see the story because I know it's going to get spoiled. It's almost been spoiled for me like 3 or 4 times this week. So, and then I'm probably going to like reload the save or something, then get 100% just to have it because I want to stay in that world a little longer.
Yeah, no, I would finish up the story ASAP because there's some things in that ending that I'm very much like I want to talk to someone about this.
Yeah.
There's some implications.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if we do. Well, we got to see where Sean's at with it. I'd like to do like a spoiler cast. There's a lot of specific things I'd like to talk about. I mean, even up to the point I'm in, that's crazy, and I'm sure it's going to get crazier. So, yeah.
It took me, I think my game time said 7.5 hours to get 100%.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I've heard anywhere between 8 to 10 hours for people to beat it, and up to 15 hours for completion.
Yeah. I looked. I took a picture of it. 7 hours, 36 minutes, 39 seconds for my first time playing through 100%.
Cool. So not very long at all. Not too bad.
Well, now I reloaded saves a little bit because there's some Shine Spark puzzles that are just like, okay, we need you to do this, but you might not be aware that you can do this yet. So have fun.
Yeah. I just started doing
like,
some of those.
I don't want to waste like 40 minutes of trying to figure out how to get one missile pack when it's just like, oh, I could have just done this instead, and it's way easier.
Some of them are kind of crazy, what they're asking you to do. Yeah.
But I was expecting worse though on a bunch of these, because some people are like, oh man, they're so dirty. I'm like, yeah, some of these are hard, like, but I seem to remember Zero Mission having some absolute bullshit ones.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think I 100%ed Zero Mission. I'm pretty sure I just played through it, so I don't think I know those ones. Overall, what do you think so far?
I liked it.
You liked it?
I guess it's so far, like
so
I've beaten the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It's pretty high up on my Metroid list, I would say.
Yeah.
It's definitely a step up from Samus Returns. There's no denying that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a difference for sure.
Yeah. I do have some gripes about the game though.
Okay. Are they spoilery?
No. Okay. I'll avoid spoilers as much as I can.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling most of the bosses, to be perfectly honest.
I love
every
the
boss
bosses.
hits so fucking hard.
Yeah. So David Jaffe has been like freaking out about difficulty in Dread.
I was gonna say, why have we even been listening to David Jaffe? But all right, I'll bite.
I just keep seeing a whole bunch of stuff about how David Jaffe's really mad about difficulty, and it's specifically about Dread, and got into a bunch of Twitter fights about it.
Yeah, that sounds like David Jaffe.
But they're like, so a lot of people have said, and I've heard before I started, this is the hardest Metroid. And for a while, I was just like, what are people even talking about? Like, this isn't that bad. It is an unfair difficulty of if you get hit twice, you're dead. Like, the bosses just hit way too hard.
The bosses hit way too hard, and I'd
Yeah.
argue if they toned down how much damage you took on the bosses, people wouldn't even be saying that.
100%.
It's pretty fairly balanced.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah. I found that most bosses I died to at least once because I was trying to learn them or learn their patterns, and then I would just either like goof up an input or just I wouldn't realize I'd taken so much damage. I'm like, I've been hit 3 times. I had 6 tanks. What happened?
Yep. For sure. That's a thing.
I will say this, I really enjoyed the final boss fight though. Like some of the bosses are actually really cool. Some of them are kind of but that final boss, while difficult, was really good.
Cool.
That was a fun fight. I also am kind of meh on the Emmys.
Yeah, I don't like the Emmy parts at all. And that's kind of like, so when they were showing this game off, I kind of thought it showed bad because I didn't think like the stuff they were showing looked good, just like aesthetically, because that you find out that those parts kind of aren't supposed to. They're like shitty and dark and kind of like, what is it? Has like a grain on it and just, yeah. I don't love the Emmys or any of those parts at all. Everything in between, I like absolutely adore though.
So. Oh, the exploring in the game is great.
It's very good.
I love just wandering around trying to find stuff. Although I'll admit, when I was getting 100%, I'm like, where the hell is there one item I haven't seen? And it's like, oh, you just forgot to hit this thing. I'm like, oh, dang it, of course. But sure. Yeah, like the Emmys are like, I love running away from them. That part's like super fun. But some of the Emmys later on just kind of get unfair. They get like weird like buffs that just make them a pain in the ass to deal with. And getting rid of them is the same every time. I really wish there had been some variety there.
Yeah, it seems like a missed opportunity. So the Emmys all kind of have like a gimmick. Like one of them is able to go through tunnels to get to you faster through the different areas that you can't access. One of them's really fast. One of them can like kind of look through walls and has a bigger range to detect you. So it's kind of always hunting you. It would have been cool if they programmed it somehow where you use their like strengths against them somehow to like take them out. Like they could have done some really interesting boss fights with the Emmys, but you're right. They kind of just made them all get the thing to blow their head off at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I hated was sometimes like, so where an Emmy would spawn when you come into an area was random. Yeah. And sometimes they would literally spawn right in front of the door. And it's just like, oh, cool. Now, what am I supposed to do here now? Like, I hated that. That's the randomness of it. Didn't help it.
Yeah.
But like anytime it was just like, okay, you have to like do some tight platforming to kind of get away from the enemies. That was fun.
Sure.
The counter window for fighting them is, I mean, they meant to make it tight on purpose. Totally. But yeah. I also felt stupid. There's a bunch. I learned how to counter them for the most part. There's like a window where you can roughly get it in. But I forgot you could slide under their legs when you have done that. So there's sometimes where I'm like, I'm trying to jump over him. Oh no, I've been pushed back. What am I supposed to do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had one point where I was literally like backed into a corner. Behind me was a door. I tried to jump over. I'm like, oh crap. Well, I'll turn around and go through the door. Going through the door, unfroze him from the stun animation, and he grabbed me again immediately. I'm like, oh come on.
Lame.
Yeah. So yeah, the Emmys were a bit of a crapshoot, and I get they were trying to get what the SAX was in Fusion, and I don't think they quite hit that.
They didn't.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I agree.
But I did like the novelty of it. I guess I just didn't like especially the later ones. The execution was kind of meh. But yeah, if I had any complaints, it would be bosses hit way too hard, and the Emmys are just kind of meh. But otherwise, like it's a really good game. If you love exploring in Metroidvanias, this is primo. Yeah. The movement feels so fluid. Yeah,
there's some cool shit you can do of running, shine sparking, sliding through something, going into a ball, and then shooting across a level. Like it's fucking crazy. I can't wait to see a speed run of this game. It's going to be awesome.
Me too. People are starting to find like sequence breaks for getting all the items, and I'm just like, how? Can't even think of how you would have gotten half of these. Like, I'm legit curious. Part of me wants to go back into the game to figure out some of that, and the other part's me like, I have other shit I have to play this year. Like,
Totally. Yeah, I have
yeah,
work to do. Like, I'm so
yeah.
yeah. Any
Any
percentage.
percent is already below 2 hours. That is insane.
Oh my god.
How? How?
Oh man. Yeah, the exploration in this game is really good. The addition or the use of teleporters to kind of keep it somewhat linear so that you can just like get stuff and then you can like get the 100% if you want or whatever. Like there's a good balance of if you just want to play through it, just follow the path that's like pretty obvious to you and given to you. And you'll get through it. Otherwise you can do like search around and do certain things when you have the right abilities to get stuff.
I found it so interesting seeing the Discord of first-time players like talking about the game. They're like, I can't figure out where to go. Oh, I had to shoot a wall. Oh, that's stupid. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
that's just how Metroid is, man. That's they've always been like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty easy in this to tell which blocks are the ones you should maybe check as well.
Usually, yeah. And then they brought back an ability from Samus Returns that's just like, do you want to find everything? Just use this.
Yeah. It even gives you like a little thing on the map now too in locations where you're close to getting
I
it.
was so grateful for that because I'm
Yeah.
like I can't look over the entire map. Like I'm not gonna know where to come back to. And then it's just like, yeah, go to this vague area. I'm like, oh, that's so nice for quality of life.
Yeah. Yep, that's a good one. Good one for sure. I will say I don't think the music's anything special myself. It's fine. I don't mind it, obviously.
I'm kind of bummed out. I'm kind of bummed out that when you pick up an item, it just goes like it beeps randomly. I'm not a fan of that sound,
Oh,
but I do like that when you get like the actual proper items, they do still give you the jingle.
yeah. Yeah. I just kind of meant like in the area. There's nothing too memorable here for me. And then I was kind of like thinking, I don't think there's any real huge memorable moments in musically in any Metroid except Super Metroid because that one's just burned into my childhood brain. So that's the kind of the one I always go back to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But like they're going for atmospheric. There's only so much they can do. I feel that
Yeah.
they picked the hand they felt they were dealt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And it's not. I don't think the music is bad either.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just I'm not gonna pop this on like Spotify or anything like that.
sure. I think all the different biomes are kind of represented. Like you got your fire area, icy type area, water area, like everything that you would assume, and they all look pretty good. There's a nice 2.5 3D effect going on in a lot of the backgrounds and like cool things in the foreground.
I love all the camera tricks they do in this game.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. Like some of the bosses, literally when you're just in the middle of a fight, you'll suddenly just cut to a different camera angle and it just looks super cinematic. Like that was
super cool.
really well done.
Even little things like making your map go away when you're like fighting a mini boss so that you're kind of in the moment and you don't have HUD elements everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's good. It's some good stuff.
No, there's some good decisions there. I hope they get to do a third one. I feel their third one's going to be a masterpiece because this one was really good.
Sure. Yeah. Huge step up from, I mean, most Metroid games.
I mean, yeah, like Samus Returns, probably both because it is the Game Boy game, which I always didn't like, and because they were kind of still figuring things out. I wasn't the biggest fan of. Like, I liked it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like coming back to it. But like, this one feels like such a step up.
Yeah. They got the parry working properly.
Yep.
I do.
The moving with the parry was such a game changer.
Totally. I do think they maybe still rely on it a little bit too much for certain enemy types.
They do.
Yeah. There is more option. You get like some of the abilities you get later, or some of your beams do okay, but like if you want to get through something easily, you just have to know how to parry. That's just the way it is. Some bosses, I don't know, can you beat them without parrying some of them?
Some bosses you can beat without parrying, but there's some that is absolutely required.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because the parrying kind of like triggers the death animation, essentially, I think, for a couple of them. Or maybe it's just a way to do massive damage. The thing is, I don't know. I haven't been really looking at like what other people have been saying about the mechanics in this game, but I just like getting those the parry mechanic on the bosses because it usually plays a cool cutscene.
That's the other thing too. There's one boss early in the game. Apparently, if you sequence break and have a certain item, like it has its own special cutscene, and I really want to see that one in action.
Ooh. Yeah, you'll have to tell me what it is off air.
I'll tell you that off air, but yeah, no, it's stuff like that that makes me want to go back, but I'm like, if it was maybe as short as Super Metroid, I might do it, but
yeah,
I'm not at the point where I can even get to that yet, so
yeah.
I want to eventually play No More Heroes 3 or like anything else that's come out recently, and it's just like, yeah, all the good stuff's coming out now that I care about for once.
Totally, yeah. Ben, I would love to talk about some story stuff because there's some crazy shit that happens so far.
The story, like, I'll just say it this way. Like, the first half of the game has, like, nothing going on story-wise, although it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Then in the middle, there's, like, here's, like, I want to call it a lore dump, but it's not too overwhelming, but it's like, oh, here's, like, literally everything that's happening. And then at the last like 20% of the game, 15% of the game, the story just goes off the rails.
Oh man,
and I'm excited. I'm excited to see you get to that point because I just want to see your reaction to it.
I feel like if that's the last 15%, I feel like I'm at the 20% mark. Like I feel like I'm almost there.
I don't want to tell you spoilers, but like you were when you at the point you're at right now, I probably played for another 2 hours to get 100%.
Yeah, I like. Most places, I still have a decent amount of looking around. Most places, I left at like 60-something%. So like, there's definitely items.
Well, no,
around.
Yeah, because like every zone, the last upgrade you get, there's at least one item in every zone. I think that you need it for. So you can't get 100% until you get everything. Because that's the way that Mercury Steam does their Metroidvanias, which is a bit annoying.
Yep.
But yeah, like the last upgrade, when you get that, then it's like free roam. You can get anything you want.
Yeah. I think I should just push for that moment and then go around collecting. That's probably the smarter way to do it. I've been kind of trying to collect things as I go, and it's like dragging it out, I think.
I mean, that's what I usually do in these, and that's what I did for a while. But then again, I remembered from Samus Returns, I'm like, no, they will lock everything with every upgrade. There's no point doing the final loop around. Like if it's nearby, if it's on the way, grab it. If it's not, ignore it. Come back later, because that's just how Mercury Steam does these.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate way to do it. Not a fan of it, but it is what it is.
It's still a good game. I definitely would recommend it, but I do have to put in the caveat of like, if you don't like either reflex testing or like bosses that hit hard, you're not going to have a fun time. There is no easy mode, which is a weird omission, I feel.
Yeah. An easy mode would be really good for this. Even if it was just meant that like the bosses you take half damage from everything.
I feel like you don't even need to be half damage. Like 25% less damage would, I feel, make a world of difference.
Yeah, it would.
But yeah, like I think the only Metroid that had an easy mode was Zero Mission. I think that had an easy mode. But like I feel it would be a good addition, I feel, here. Because I think most of the complaints I've heard about this game have been in regards to that.
Yeah. I don't think it's like unachievable in a way. I think I've heard some people talk about it. It's fine, the difficulty, but you're right. You have to be willing to put up with it. It's noticeable. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's basically all I've been playing.
I was gonna ask you, did you play at all that Nicktoons fighting game?
It's not out in Canada.
Oh, it's not? I didn't know that.
There's something weird going on with the physical versions. I've been trying to get it for the past week and a half, and it's just not available. EB's like, yeah, it's not out till the 15th. I'm like, what are you talking about? People are already playing it. It came out on the 8th. And I'm afraid it was Dread's release, or it was the 5th. It was the 5th it came out.
Yeah.
But like, it's not around here. It's so weird. I even went on Amazon. They're like, yeah, no, it's not out till the 15th. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like tomorrow, I guess I'll pick it up if I can find a copy.
Okay.
It might be out digitally. It was just the physical's not out yet here.
Okay. I hope by next time we do the or chat or whatever that you play a bit of it because I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
In how it is.
I might if I get it tomorrow, I might start Saturday stream with it. We'll see.
Okay, cool. I've heard some complaints about it, but the complaints are, man, Smash is so much better than this, and then I just discount everything that person says because it's like, of
I was
course
gonna say,
it is.
yeah. So yeah, Smash has a budget.
Yeah,
and that doesn't have to go towards just the characters.
Smash is the biggest fighting game ever created in every conceivable way versus this cute little thing that somebody did because nostalgia. Like, calm down. That's such a dumb argument. I have heard like it's a little bit floaty though, but I have also heard that it doesn't use like tilt controls at all like Smash does. It has like a dedicated button for,
which I kind of prefer.
I prefer
theory.
that.
I'll have to see how it is in gameplay, but yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. So that's what I'm kind of hoping to. I was hoping maybe that you played a little bit or something, and I could ask you about that. But we'll talk about it.
Like I said, I would have if it hadn't been weirdly delayed for a couple weeks here in physical form.
Weird. Apparently, in Southeast Asia, it's been delayed till the 9th of November. Wow. All right. It must be a rights thing. Just
there must be they goof something with the physical versions. There must be.
Yeah.
Or they just prioritize the US and like there's like a rights issue or something.
Yeah. For sure. Okay. I mean, I've been playing Metroid Dread. I booted up Castlevania Harmony of Despair again because that was the Games with Gold free game this last week or whatever.
Choice.
So there's been talk about it, and I was just like, yeah, I'll boot that dumb thing up again. Oh my god, there's like $30 worth of DLC that I never looked at, so I bought.
Yeah, no, they added they basically doubled the length of the game with that DLC.
Yep. So there's 11 chapters now where there used to be 6. Every chapter is a brand new map with like not new items, but a lot of new like items and new items and old items mixed in, and they all have a character as well that goes along with it. I just kind of kept playing the last character I was playing, which was Alucard for whatever reason. I think it was because when we were playing, you were playing Soma, and I was like, okay, I'll play Jonathan. And I played Jonathan for a while, and I was just like, okay, I'm not feeling it. I'll switch to Alucard and check that out, and that's kind of where I stopped playing.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Alucard kind of sucks. He's very item dependent because his spells are garbage. Anyways, I ended up playing like 8 to 10 hours of that over the weekend.
Wow. Okay, so I had rated you at one point, and you were playing it, but I didn't think you had gone that deep down the rabbit hole.
I was at that point 5.5 hours in on that stream.
Dude.
I was playing with people that had never played it before because they got it for free with Games with Gold, and we were just having a great time. Yeah, that is still an extraordinarily good game that I wish was out on something that people like the people I play with played more often. I wish it was on PC, basically. I will say, though, that even though it's the Games with Gold game for 360, I was playing with somebody with an Xbox One and a Series X and 2 people with a 360 with me on a 360 in the same party, and it worked fine, which is awesome.
That's good, at least.
That's super cool that Xbox actually like really stuck their ground with the backwards compatibility, and it's like, yeah, you can just play 3 different generations worth of consoles on this one game together, and there's no problem. Unfortunately, I think as of this recording, you might, if you're listening to this live, you have one more day. You can download it tonight. I think it's gone tomorrow or the next day.
Oh, but, right. They usually change on the 15th. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to jump back in. At some point, you should jump in with us. Relive.
Give me a heads up, and if I'm free, I can and get everything set up. I think I lost my character file. I think
it might be.
I had a weird issue last time.
Oh, really?
It might not be in the cloud as much as it's on one of my like 3 memory cards, because I had the hard drive, and then I have a small memory card and a USB stick. But I think I also lost some files due to a red ring at some point, so I'm not 100% certain.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, that sucks. That game's still great. Highly recommend. Back 4 Blood came out. because of course it did. This is the week of things. So we jumped in and played Act 1 of 4 in Back for Blood. And that game I think is better than I gave it credit for in the beta. It held back.
So
sorry.
yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that it's a way big improvement over the beta, but I don't know how per se.
They didn't show their whole hand in the beta. So just like from gameplay, like story stuff or what's going on, it's kind of neat. The dead that you're fighting against are evolving. So, for example, one of the like enemy types that you fight in the like prologue or chapter 1 of Act 1 or whatever, let's just like think of it like a spitter enemy. It just like spits something at you. It does a little bit of damage. It's annoying. Later on, it grows more arms and it can now like web you up completely so that you have to be freed. Like the enemy types are like evolving as you go to like make them kind of newer and harder to deal with.
Interesting.
And I kind of just like the idea that you're not just survivors. Like there's a reason why your team are called cleaners. You are the people that are sent out to go rescue other survivors. So that leads to kind of interesting mission types of not just you trying to get to an end point, but like one of the missions is, okay, we need you to create your team to create a distraction while we like get all these people into the Humvees and get them back to base or whatever. So you just go into a bar, just jam out the jukebox as loud as you can and like try to get all of the dead in the area to you and fight them off while like other people get saved. Just really cool ideas that I don't think you can do with the conceit that you're just trying to stay alive. You're kind of like going into the line of fire to help other people and stuff. And I think that's just cool in general. Overall though, it's Left 4 Dead in 2021. So much needed improvements to the shooting, the sound design, all of that sort of stuff. There's little quality of life things like you can bash away enemies and it won't break your reload. So if you run out of ammo, you can start a reload. And then if you're being attacked, you can like push them away and it won't like make you stop your reload animation. You'll just have a full clip after. Okay. Just stuff like that like this doesn't make sense in a real life scenario, but this is a video game, so you can have fun. Yeah. There's kind of like a card deck system where you find cards in the field and kind of unlock them that you can put into a deck. And in between every segment of a chapter, you have an opportunity to play another card that like has different perk effects. So like you might play a card that gives you plus 15 health. You might play a card that gives everybody in your party like some faster sprint speed or like more stamina or something. And you kind of like build up your perks in that way. So every run is just a little bit different and you can kind of do different things with it. There's a bunch of different characters and each one kind of has a skill set that they do. The character I'm playing right now, or maining or whatever, is a girl who can carry an extra tactical item, but more importantly, she has an ability that she highlights things that are important like around her, so I can see certain enemies through walls if I'm standing there, or like where money is and ammo and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a very, very cool game. Just a good Left 4 Dead, basically. I'm pretty impressed.
Which would you say is better? That's gonna be a loaded question, I feel, but like I know that originally when Back for Blood originally got announced, people were very wishy-washy on it. Just like, oh, they're gonna try again because they never really hit it with Evolve or anything else. But would you say you think they succeeded this time?
Yeah, this is the only problem with Left 4 Dead is that it's dated. This is the evolution of that. So it just by that metric, it's better. I don't necessarily think the maps are as memorable or the characters are as memorable. I think it loses some of that personality that those games had. And I don't know if that's because of the writing or what, or maybe just because you're playing for survivors and you kind of grow to like them as a person or whatever. And this is more like a little bit open. I think there's 8 cleaners that you can choose from. They still do the banter. I think the banter is a little bit annoying between some of them. It's not like as well written, I would say. So if personality is a big thing, Left 4 Dead might still be your thing. But for me, I care more about gameplay, and this just has kind of more refined mechanics and gameplay. So I like this better. Also, it's on Game Pass.
Oh, that helps too. Okay.
That helps, yeah. I don't think this is worth $80 for what that's worth. I don't think this is worth full price. I think this is a good sale game or a good thing to download for if you have Game Pass. But yeah, I don't think it's a full price worthy game. If you have buddies, why not? Check it out. Good. The Riftbreaker came out. I'm excited for this game. This game is cool.
All right, what is this game?
It is, you play a person in a mech suit. It's kind of like if you took an SCV in StarCraft and just threw them on a world and told them to colonize. But it's like a single player game. So it's a top-down perspective, dual stick shooter type thing. But it's also a survival game where you are mining for materials so that you can build a base, and the idea is you are an explorer building a rift gate onto a savage planet, a savage world, and essentially colonizing it. And what that means is that you are taking your mech with your hammer and sword and machine guns and whatever you build on it, and just like destroying the flora and fauna around to like harvest it and study it and create a giant base. Yeah, it's just a super fun, cool game. It kind of looks like a mobile game in a lot of the things it does, like the main menu and stuff like that. But it's a pretty deep survival, like almost like a real-time strategy survival game. Yeah, sandbox sort of thing. I don't know. It seems like some of the events in it that happen are random because they have a mode where you can connect your Twitch account and let people decide what happens to you. Like, for example, they can choose if you have fog or something, and that means that your solar panels will get less or maybe not at all energy to them, which means you'll like start losing power quicker. Or they can like up the wind, and that means your wind turbines will like create more power, so you'll be able to do more things. I don't know. It's very, very deep in a way that I wasn't necessarily expecting from the prologue demo thing that I played. And I think that's super, super cool. Just a great game that I don't think anybody's going to talk about because not many people even have heard the name before this week. And this week, Back 4 Blood and the biggest Nintendo game of the year came out. So it's maybe dead. It's on Game Pass, so that was good. I was ready to buy it, but I didn't have to, so that's good.
Yeah, no, it's just 10% off on Steam right now, so.
Yeah, it's just kind of a cool game. It's worth looking into if you like the idea of colonizing a world in a mech suit, I guess. Again, that's the Riftbreaker. I'm saying it twice because nobody's going to remember that name after this podcast, and that's unfortunate. The last thing I played, Monster Hunter Rise had a PC demo out, or has a PC demo out. I guess it's not gone. I played a little bit of that with a buddy last night, and that's unfortunately probably the best way to play that game, which sucks because I don't want to buy that game twice. It's very, very nice looking. It's uncapped frame rate. And yeah, it's just that game on a better system than the Switch.
This was the Switch exclusive, right?
This is the Switch. This was the Switch exclusive. Yeah, it's just the better version of that game because the Switch is kind of long to the tooth, just in general. But even when this came out on the Switch, it was running fine. It still runs fine because it runs like at 30 and it's smooth, so there's not stuttering or anything. But man, high res textures and like good lighting and HDR and the 60 frames plus. Like, that game is absolutely beautiful on PC, and it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. But yeah, it's good. If you want Monster Hunter on PC, you should get that one. It's very, very good. Probably gonna end up buying that stupid thing. That's all I've been playing.
Could just wait for a sale.
Yeah, I'll probably wait for a sale. Okay, news time. Let me open this because, yeah, Yakuza series director Toshihiro Nagoshi has confirmed that he's leaving Sega and Ryuga Gotoku. So, yeah.
That's a big deal. I think the producer as well, too. There's a couple people that are leaving that role.
Oh, you're right. Daisuke Sato is also leaving. You're right.
Yeah, so basically those two have been there since the start of the Yakuza series on the PS2, but I think they've been there even longer because I know the first guy also helped create Monkey Ball, and that's been going around since the GameCube era.
Yeah.
So they've been at Sega or Sega adjacent for a long time. Now, I think in their parting message, they say that they think the team's in good hands and that they're still moving forward with things because, like, they announced Like a Dragon 2.
They did, in the same breath. Basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. It just feels kind of bad, honestly. Yeah. They're apparently going to NetEase Game, which I haven't heard of before this, and I looked them up. They're a Hong Kong company, an internet tech company / game studio thing. They're the ones that did Naraka, I think. That game that came out recently.
Yeah, Limex says apparently they haven't had much input in the series since Kiwami 2 because they didn't do anything on Like a Dragon or Judgments. Or both Judgments, I guess.
Maybe that's why.
If that's the case, like, I played Lost Judgment, that was good. Like what I did get to play of it, and I heard great things about Like a Dragon, so I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. Also a sequel to Like the Dragon, I'm sure gets a lot of people excited. So I've yet to play it. This was big news for like 2 days because people were mad about it, and then everybody just kind of gave up. Warzone is getting one of those really, really deep, intrusive anti-cheats, kernel-level anti-cheats called Ricochet. This was kind of the big deal, if you'll remember. Valorant, Riot did something similar called Vanguard, is their anti-cheat, which is a system kernel level anti-cheat that has like really deep access or whatever. Warzone's doing the same. People were kind of not loving it until they realized how bad the cheating is in Warzone, and apparently it's extraordinarily bad. So a lot of people that play that game legitimately are like, you know what? Yeah, fine. I want to have fun with my game again. So I don't know. I don't know who to blame here or whatever. Like, the hackers are to blame. The kids paying $10 or whatever for their headshots. But, yeah.
I thought I had seen something earlier on Twitter today saying, like, they had actually cracked it already because it was the same as they were putting in other systems, but I can't find anything confirming that now.
Yeah, it was something about how what is it? I think it was in our Discord. Somebody posted something about it. Either hackers or somebody's already found like the source code for it or something like that. Which is crazy to me.
The kernel-level anti-cheat has already been leaked and is being broken.
Oh, it's been leaked. Okay, so it will be broken within like the next 24 hours. Because that's how hackers work. Fast. That's really shitty. That's so shitty. Oh well, what can you do, I guess? All right, remember that big Epic versus Apple thing where Apple won 9 out of 10 of the things that Epic was fighting them for, but the one that they lost on was that you can now like go to a third-party thing to buy stuff through Apple, like a website or whatever. Apple don't like that, so they are appealing the verdict, and they, along with Epic, so I don't know if that just means they're going to go back through court and do everything again, or if they're just going to try for a new ruling or whatever, but we'll see what that means. The Apple's not happy for the one thing that they actually had to relent on, but it was a big thing, to be fair, for them. So
I do find it funny that it's just like I won 9 out of 10 things, but I want that last one.
yeah, that last one might actually hurt them financially, so I think it makes sense. I guess.
I mean, that's exactly why they're doing it, because that one actually was a big one to lose.
It was, yeah. Not even like necessarily too epic, but for everybody on their platform, that hurts. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit of help with some of these Pokemon things, mainly because...
Oh, no, let me load this up.
No,
I just saw the title.
So this one I understand. Pokemon Legends, Arceus, whatever, is not going to be the open world game that I think people were suspecting it might be. People were saying it's going to be Pokemon Breath of the Wild, and they were very quick to say that is not going to be the case. It's going to be more like a segmented world, like a Monster Hunter or something, where you go to a part of the world and that part loads in and you play in that part, and it's not a seamless giant world. I would prefer this myself, but I'm also not the main Pokemon dude here. I kind of wish Sean was here to put his input in here, but I kind of like the idea of you can do I would rather a good, well thought out bunch of levels kind of strung together than a big empty open world for limitations, especially on the Switch.
Yeah. Now here's the thing though, like if the areas aren't big enough and they just feel small and claustrophobic, then it's not gonna be worth it. But
yeah.
if they're decent size, then hopefully people won't care. Or anyone who does care is just nitpicking.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Along with other Pokemon stuff, this is the one that I saw a giant fight happening in our Discord earlier this week.
Oh, Pokemon causing a fight? That never happens.
Yeah, that never happens. The internet, you say? Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl has some things detailed of what's coming. Let me look through this thing here. The underground apparently has been revamped, now called the Grand Underground. Vast subterranean world spans the entire Sinnoh region. You'll be able to visit and participate in activities such as digging up valuable treasures and Pokemon fossils or creating a secret base. Pokemon hideaways, apparently, where you can find Pokemon that live in a variety of different environments. An item called the Digger Drill to build yourself a secret base and customize with the Pokemon statues you find. Something about fossils here. Super contest shows.
Yeah, the super contest was in these games, I'm pretty sure. It's where like you dressed up your Pokemon and you had like a beauty contest that you did with them.
Okay, sure. Some more customization stuff, including stickers that you could put on ball capsules. With different effects, I guess. Okay, whatever. The big thing that people were complaining about is experience share not being toggleable. It's just always on now.
Oh, it's just on by default permanently?
Yeah. The idea being that this is now kind of more like a normal RPG where your whole party just kind of levels up, except for the ones in your box.
I can see why there was arguing about that. Okay.
Yeah, that was the thing people were arguing about. I don't have a strong opinion either way about it, so I'm not the dude to throw a flag up and take a stand on any of this.
The best way to put it is Pokemon experience share makes the actual single player pretty easy because your party gets leveled up evenly. You don't have to take everyone out like you had to.
Yeah.
So I get, but in the previous games, they were usually on by default, but you could toggle it, which made sense because so people could play it their own way. But
that's the part I guess I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. Give people an option to play the way they want. Why force a certain way? Because I'm assuming they're not going to change the game enough. in the way it plays to make up for the fact that it's going to be easier. Like, they're not going to change the gameplay that drastically, I would assume.
I can't. This is a remake. They're not going
Right.
to change the gameplay anything at all, basically.
At all. Yeah. It's weird. So yeah, there was a big fight about that. And I tried reading some of it. I really did. And then I closed the window. I was like, this is way too in the weeds for me. I don't care about this.
Welcome to Pokemon, Paul.
Yeah. Otherwise though, that thing looks kind of cute. They're putting in that Let's Go Pikachu thing where you can choose a Pokemon to follow behind you if you want or something. So that's neat. Yeah. I never played these games. I played Platinum. Where's my Forever Platinum edition? Never get it.
It could still happen. You never know.
Yeah. Maybe.
I did see a bunch of people being like, why aren't you giving us Platinum? Platinum makes so much more sense.
I mean, it makes more sense to me, but it's one. If you put one SKU out instead of two, then you make less money, theoretically.
Yeah.
Speaking about Monster Hunter Rise on PC, they were being bombarded with, you better allow me to play my character through cross-save or whatever. And apparently they looked into it and they're like, we're sorry, we can't offer cross-save / cross-play with the Switch version, just the way it's built. So that's the thing. That's the news I was waiting all week to hear on. And when I read that, I was just like, gonna buy that game again, aren't I?
The realization sinks in.
I was so angry. Not even with them, with myself. Because I knew. We'll see. Last bit of news, and this is maybe more on the bummer side. Apparently, due to the way Mercury Steam does, or has their policy or does some of their stuff, some of the people that worked on Metroid Dread were not given credit for working on Metroid Dread because, according to their PR, the policy of the studio requires that anyone must work on the project for at least 25% of the total development of the game to appear in the final credits. Some exceptions are made when making exceptional contributions.
So I know there was specifically a guy who said, like, I worked on the game for 8 months. I definitely have seen assets I made in the game.
Yeah.
But no credit in the credits. But I know that this is not the only company I've heard this from. This has happened a lot. This is unfortunately a common thing, which sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. That really sucks. That led me to think, too. What happens when you're doing, let's say, a giant project like Metroid Prime 4, and this has been in development for, like, you know what? Let's say any other game. It's been in development for 10 years. You worked on
Duke Nukem Forever. Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever. This thing's been in development for like 10 years, and you worked on it for 2 full years. And then, like, that's not 2.5 years. So guess what? Fuck your contributions. You're not getting any credit for it. But we'll take your work because that's 2 years worth of work. That sucks. That is really shitty.
That does suck. I feel bad for them, but
yeah.
Lineback kind of puts it the best. People need to unionize so then they can actually, like, get some of this locked down, because it's a per company issue at this point. And right now, most companies are like, yeah, we don't care. I think was it Ubisoft that this was a big thing at? Like, I remember like last year, I feel it was. There was some company getting, like, railed for the fact that they would have people work on, like, anyone who didn't work for the company still didn't get in the credits. Was that Naughty Dog or was that Rockstar?
Oh, you're right. It was one of the giant companies that had, like, a giant thing come out.
Yeah, no, I remember there was a big discourse about this, and that's why this doesn't surprise me. So that's the issue there.
Was it maybe Naughty Dog?
I feel like it lined up with Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Allegedly, I guess. We don't know.
Yeah. Don't remember for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, this sucks. Another one of those things that just sucks in the industry and needs to be changed. I don't know how they change it, but just change it. Just unionize.
Unionizing is a good start.
Yeah, get unions out there for sure. All right, that does it for news. let's motor along to questions. If you have a question, you can write in at topdownperspective@gmail.com. Ask or TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, and of course, John's P.O. Box. I'll take this first one from Chef Ligon Boy. When I was a kid, I watched the movie Adventures of Milo and Otis about a jillion times. Oh no. However, I learned there was a lot of animal abuse allegations levied at the production of it. What's something you loved as a kid that was ruined for you upon learning new information about it as an adult? I feel like last week we said, or you said specifically Bill Cosby. That's a great one.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything Bill Cosby or like making fun of Bill Cosby. Like there was a bunch of You're the Man Now dogs that I liked like in high school that were like really catchy songs. Like someone did like the Chocobo theme with Bill Cosby sounds. And it's just like, I know it's not even Bill Cosby. It's like the dude from dude doing a parody on Family Guy, but it's just like, this feels weird now.
You bringing up YTMD, after I heard what Sean Connery was like, I kind of fucking hated that guy. Kind of a piece of shit.
That's fair. Same with Bruce Willis, unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucked. Hearing Bruce Willis was kind of like shitty to work with and just kind of a shitty dude. That sucks. Oh, it's always people.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's always people. Nickelodeon in the chat. What happened with Nickelodeon?
Oh, Butch Hartman, creators like Butch Hartman and Dan Schneider. Apparently, they're just generally shitty people.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And like Butch Hartman, I think Butch Hartman was Fairly Odd Parents. I think that sounds right. And I think Danny Phantom. Those sound right in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some like kids show. Oh yeah, Power Rangers. Power Rangers had like apparently like a bunch of the actual actors got treated like shit. Like the Gen 1 Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like Tommy, Jason, like all those guys. Like a bunch of them got treated really like they got forced off the show essentially.
Yeah. J.K. Rowling in the chat. I don't care about Harry Potter, but that's a great one. That sucks.
Oh, I didn't realize John Cleese supported J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah, that hurts too. That's no.
Next up from Kevin, you only use one of the following for the rest of your life: spoon, fork, or knife. What's your choice?
Fork.
Spoon.
Okay. I basically use a fork for everything anyways. I only use a spoon for soups.
Yeah, you basically can't hold anything liquid if you have a fork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only trade-off, is planning on eating more liquidish foods, but otherwise, yeah. And fork's also like, I feel like knife kind of gets the worst out of the three. Because at least both a spoon and a fork can be used as some sort of flat edge. They can't just cut as well. But they still have a purpose.
Does that mean I can never like open a box again? Like, is it every type of knife? Because that might change my answer.
That might be the case.
Oh. I mean, it has to be knife then, because sometimes you just need something to cut something open.
I mean, forks can also accomplish that with piercing. So yeah, I might change mine back to fork.
Yeah, can we do a spork? Is this on the table?
I think that's cheating. I think that would actually be cheating.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's still fork for me as well. All right, Cody. If every character in Smash Bros. Was scaled to their power level in their respective games canon, who would be the top tier character? I'm trying to remember the whole roster. That's the problem.
Supersonic would be pretty powerful.
Yep. Character list.
I'm trying to remember the roster.
Yeah, right? That's the hard part.
That's the problem when your roster gets a little too big. Palutena's literally a goddess. So
yeah,
she'd be very high up there.
Yeah.
Kirby also would be very powerful because he routinely kills eldritch beings.
Mm-hmm.
Shulk literally can see visions of what's going to happen and change reality, essentially change fate. Mr. Game & Watch is literally 2D and could just turn sideways and never be hit.
Yeah, that's true. I
was trying to think on the DLC roster. I'm like, Kazuya could just do demon form all the time and fuck people up.
Like, Kazuya is actually no slouch, weirdly.
Yeah.
In this.
Sora also has a bunch of bullshit pulled out of thin air abilities that would also be very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Does Sephiroth hang at all? At his, like, ultimate form?
Not with, well, since Cloud's there, no.
Oh, that's true. His counter's literally there.
His counter is literally already there.
Yeah,
so.
That's true.
That's also why, like, there's not really any villain that technically would be in the running for this, because I think every series that has their villain also has their hero. I think Tekken is the only exception.
Yeah. What about Pit?
Pit only has half of his powers because of Palutena. Pit literally cannot fly unless Palutena gives him the ability to fly.
This is kind of an interesting question. What do we think about Bayonetta? She's pretty strong.
Bayonetta's pretty damn powerful too. I'd say she'd be high up. But I also think she just wouldn't give a fuck half the time. So yeah. I think she wouldn't be a threat per se. She would just be like, yeah, let's just let them fight it out, and then I'll come in and fix it if I need to. Yeah. But she would definitely be like in the running for like a top tier power character, since she can literally slow down time. Basically anyone who can control time has like a definitive thing, or like has unlimited power. So like Kirby and Supersonic would be unlimited power. Shulk and Bayonetta would be stopping or slowing down or changing time.
Yeah.
I don't think the Belmonts are in the running for this.
No.
They really are only good against demons. What do they do if they have to fight a being of light? They're going to lose that.
All right, hear me out though. Me fighter.
They can change their height and their weight with sliders. They're powerful. Matthew writes in and says, I recently played Stardew Valley. Of all the possible bachelors and bachelorettes you could choose from, the only ones that got my interest were Shane, the depressed alcoholic, and Harvey, the uninteresting doctor. It eventually occurred to me it's because I'm getting old and my tastes have changed. If this game came out 10 years ago, I'd want to marry Abigail, the perky goth, or Leah, the artistic nature girl. But now they've just come across as children. I'd rather hang out with the adult characters with adult personalities. Have you ever realized you're getting old because of your decisions in a game?
I realize I'm getting old because of the pains in my back.
My body's telling me that enough, so.
Yeah.
Decision-wise, not. I mean, obviously your taste is going to change no matter what, but I feel like most of my decisions still kind of line up with where I probably would have been like 10 years ago. Because I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. That's my mentality.
Sure. I feel I'm more willing to play an asshole in video games. Like, just kind of done with people's shit.
Stuff as Sunny says, I realized I'm getting old because I had to justify my time playing games. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that's... Oof. I felt that one. Why do you have to call me out? Hebrew Lantern says, can you rank all the gaming platforms? Steam, Uplay, so on PC? Steam, Uplay, Xbox?
I guess. I feel Steam is top because it's where everyone is. And then it's Epic, I guess, because that's the other place people are. Then I guess it's Uplay or Origin. But they both kind of suck.
Yeah. Does Xbox app include Game Pass? Because that might be
I think
top.
It does.
Oh,
let's say it counts.
Okay, Steam, Xbox, Epic, Uplay slash EA. I agree with that. They're both kind of on
You know
the
what?
same level.
I'll agree with that.
Itch.io, maybe.
Oh, ooh, didn't
Oh,
even
that
think of
might actually
that.
be. You know what? That's. Anytime I go on that, I find something more interesting than usually on Uplay or EA.
I would definitely put that above Uplay or Origin
Yeah,
easily.
there's some interesting stuff on there. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, Rockstar below those, and then Bethesda's way at the rock bottom.
I'll agree with all that.
Okay.
Masterman says, "What failed promise from a game's presentation has upset you the most?" This comes from the recent piece of news about Marvel's Avengers adding microtransactions, despite what was said at E3 2019 and its corresponding backlash.
That was pretty bad. I didn't pull that for news, but yeah, they're
I
adding the
mean, that
ability to
game
buy
already,
boosters.
I'm amazed people are still playing that game because it got slammed as hard as it did. So I feel like they almost did that just to save face.
They totally did. Yep. Failed promise from a game's presentation.
Anything that, oh shoot, what's his guy? The guy who created Fable.
Oh, Peter
Uh,
Molyneux, yeah.
that's it. Peter Molyneux was famous for promising the world and basically only giving a piece.
Milo, when he showed that, was magic that didn't actually exist.
Yeah.
That did not exist. That was a lie. That was huge, yeah. Um I mean, I'll be part of that crowd. I think when they showed Watch Dogs at E3, then what we got, Watch Dogs 1, that was actual bullshit. That was really, really different.
I'm racking my brain right now trying to think of one.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime like microtransactions pop into a game, I feel like that kind of sucks. So like, was it
Yeah.
Crash Team Racing or whatever the most recent Crash racing game was? Crash Nitro Fueled or whatever. They added in microtransactions like months after the game had been out and
Oh,
like
did they?
overhauled the way the game worked. Yeah, there was like a big backlash on that. So that was kind of bullshit.
Oh, that explains this next question by VGC Kenny. I've been playing Crash Team Team Racing Nitro Refueled, and the game has in-game currency and a store that has items on rotation, but no microtransactions. I assume there was going to be microtransactions, but they backed out last minute to preserve the goodwill that Crash has brought them. What series would you say has the most goodwill, and how important do you think is maintaining it is to developers and publishers?
Pretty much anything Nintendo has.
Yeah.
Mario, Zelda.
Between those two, who has more goodwill? And why is it Mario?
Yeah, it's Mario because Zelda likes to try new things every now and then, and
Yeah.
people get upset about it.
Yeah.
It's Mario because he's the most approachable character. It
Yeah.
feels like when you buy the game, you don't really need to do anything else.
Yeah.
Like that's it, you got the game. There's no real DLC offering per se.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll agree. How important do you think it is maintaining? I mean, it's everything. It's their whole company is
For
maintaining
those,
that.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Nintendo pulls so much bullshit that if they lost goodwill, they're fucked. They're done.
100%. The things they do get away with are kind of criminal at times, I feel.
Yep.
Says the guy who bought an OLED.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. It finally showed up. But I
Oh,
haven't
nice.
moved everything over because I have to move like 600 gigabytes of files.
Oh
And
my
I'm just
God.
like, I don't, something like that. How much space do I have taken up on this damn thing?
Lord.
Data management. Yeah, there's a terabyte card in my Switch right now,
Yeah.
and I think there's what 32 gigs of internal memory. The
Yeah.
internal memory is full. It's got 200 megs or less,
Sure.
and the micro SD card, the terabyte micro SD card, has 200 gigs free.
So dumb. That's
Yeah.
so much. Oh, that's pretty good.
Suki writes in and says, "You suddenly become rappers. What is your rap name?"
Fuck, P. Diddy's taken.
Yeah.
God damn it.
See, the problem is I was gonna say like something like Johnny Wheels, but I feel like that's my ska name.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely my ska name.
You need a fedora and a trumpet if you're going to have that name.
Exactly. Lil Jon, I feel that might also be taken. Just a hunch on that one. Medium Paul.
Honestly, I think like every version of John is taken.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have one of the most common names in the English language.
Yeah. P-John.
P-John, that might be my only option, and that's like my Smash Brothers nickname. So there you go.
Oh, is it? Okay, that makes some sense.
Well,
then.
because you had 5 characters to work with, so I'm like, P-John.
Paul Rappa, I'll take it. That's yeah.
Oh, Paul Rappa's pretty good.
That was my Twitter name in like 2011 for a long time. Dead in Sky writes, what spin-off game do you enjoy more than any game in its original series?
Pokemon Pinball.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. I gotta think of some spin-off games.
I mean, I feel like things like Pokemon are the easiest ones to pull from.
Yeah. And then also the part that's like more than their main series. That's a hard one.
Yes, it's all order.
Oh yeah, Persona.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's technically a spinoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also say you like Dota, didn't you?
I did like Dota. Yeah, that's a weird gray area, but sure. Yeah. I looked up a list of some ideas here. World of Warcraft is a great one. Yeah. I like the Warcraft games, but oh yeah, technically Super Mario Bros. Is a spin-off of Mario Bros.
Oh yeah,
Mario Bros.
That counts too. As Paul skims through the list to try to figure some out. Phantom Igus writes in and says, hello, TDP crew. What is your favorite pasta? Lasagna.
It's, oh, fuck. Okay, I was gonna say, I agree with you. I'll change it and say ravioli or something stuffed. I like as well.
Yeah. I was gonna be like, yeah, I like spaghetti. I'm like, no, lasagna is where it's at.
Lasagna is where it's at. Yep, that's the answer. Okay, final question from Rinku. What is an 8-bit game you think needs a modern remake? Less for nostalgia baiting and more for good idea but poor, outdated execution.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm going to say it. Zelda 2 is my favorite game out of those. And that I would love a modern remake because even though I like that game, it is still hard to play. That they could have fixed a lot of things to make that better.
That's a good choice. See, I'm having a hard time because most of the things I think of got a re-release,
yeah,
an HD remaster, or just a new entry. I was like, Ninja Turtles. No, that got tons. River City Ransom. No, that got a bunch too. Kid Icarus. That got some too. It's just like I keep getting walled on things that I'm thinking of.
Did they ever do something similar to Metal Storm again?
Not really.
I think that game plays totally fine, but like a new version of like basically just a VVV Contra mashup or something like that would be dope.
Yeah, I'm only thinking like stuff like Power Blade. Yeah, let's say something like Power Blade 2 getting a remake or Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers getting a proper getting out of 8-bit. Like just a co-op like throwing around stuff.
Sure.
Goof Troop, also pretty good option.
Yeah,
that's 16-bit, but
yep. Ice Climbers, not a bad option either. Action 52, you're banned for life.
Nah. I mean, that could use a remake, to be fair.
It could use a lot of things.
It was a good idea before outdated execution. 52 games in one cartridge is a good idea. They're all terrible games.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Again, if you want to write in, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Dread.
Yeah, it's Metroid Dread is like one of the games of the year, for Christ's sakes. Of course.
I really wish that Sean was here.
Yeah.
Because I legitimately want to know how he feels about it, because
Yeah.
he's the one that I know for sure would be the most upset about the difficulty of the bosses.
Yep. Totally. You're totally right.
Really want to hear what he says next week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a conversation for sure. I can't wait.
Is he back next week? I forget.
As far as I know, but I don't know for sure, I guess. In housekeeping, I wrote Sean back next week, but I actually don't know that. But I'll say it. Also, if you are a Patreon supporter, the TDP Plus submissions for November thread is live. You can go throw your vote into there. Any game up to full price, $60 is acceptable. I think Sean and I were kind of talking that we should like make sure people don't choose like a weird $200 something or other that you.
Well, wouldn't that just be collector's editions or stuff like that at that point?
Yeah, at this point.
At that point, it's just like we need a game that has like no one's gonna pick Final Fantasy 14 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
No one's gonna pick Train Simulator. All this DLC, please. You need specifically this DLC.
Yeah. On the thing I said, I put mostly any, because I'm sure there will be somebody always finds an exception somehow. So yeah. If there is a problem, obviously we'll just message you and be like, yo, we literally can't do that, but it should be fine. So that's that one. This one I'm scared about a little bit. The reins are off.
I mean, to be fair, how you doing on Cookie Clicker?
Oh, I love it. I play it like every day. Well, play it.
Play.
I open my phone up at work and see what I can spend cookies on, and then close it. So, basically,
yeah, I'm pretty much done Cookie Clicker now. So,
Jesus, yeah, I'm not anymore.
I mean, I just left it running. I'm just like, yeah, let's just leave it on. Whatever. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
I got 613 billion prestige points to add next time I prestige, stuff like that. Like, I just left it going, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so I've played idle clickers. I have to do this, and then this will happen, and yeah, it's the same.
And then you just wait, yeah.
Yeah, and then the waiting happens.
That's the hardest part. I think Tom Petty said that once. All right,
yeah.
Thank you for listening. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.